The dawn of civilization. Primitive. Dangerous. Exciting. The handwriting is on the wall. If the human race is ever going to amount to anything, it needs
the most civilized caveman I have ever seen.
Look who's come out of his cave.
Hi everyone, this is James from the Cave Dweller Music Podcast. I'm here with my co-host Brandon. Today we are joined by our special guest Pei, all the way from Taiwan. He's the vocalist, plays guitar, bass, percussion, all those different things in this fantastic band, Holotropics. Thanks so much for coming on the show, Pei. Great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. Really happy to be here. Appreciate it.
No worries, anytime. Thanks for taking the time with the time zone difference. We appreciate that.
It's all good. Yeah.
Do you want to start by maybe telling people a little bit about Holotropics and what you do in the band?
Cool. Yeah. So I play guitar and do vocals in Holotropics, and Holotropics is a project that I've kind of had for quite a few years, and it's kind of I started it briefly back kind of in England years ago, and then I was moving around quite a lot, and I'm now in Taiwan, and I had an album recorded as well for Holotropics, so we put a band together to learn all the songs and make the record, and then we've been more active since now, and it's kind of I guess psychedelic is the overarching theme on it, whatever you want to call it, but it's really fun. I enjoy it a lot.
You've got
you guys got a good bouncy, happy feel with plenty of earworms in there. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's good fun.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the new album, the meaning of the title, which you just explained to me before the call, and then
so the album's name is Nikanash, which means it's from the Nahuatl language, one of the native languages in Mexico, and it means here and now. And I don't know, for me, this album, and I guess doing a band in general, has always been about that, here and now, something to bring myself back to the present moment and be immersed in the present moment. And there's also another reason I called the record Nikanash, is because me and my wife, we have a cat, and her name is Nikanash, and it's a nice little reminder. The cat is a reminder of staying present, but also that album and doing music as well for me is I feel that seeps through into the songs, and it's that album especially about being in the present moment.
So is that the reason for the psychedelic?
The artist who did that, really cool artist, by the way. So I think her at is Espacial on Instagram. She does a lot of cool psychedelic art. But the idea of that is, yes, definitely related to my cat, having a psychedelic cat. But I was really inspired also by the I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation, the Thodol, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Where did that inspiration come from? Been really fascinated by, I think, mortality in general, and it's something that definitely went into this record a lot, and just also I think it's all connected as well to this idea of staying present, because tomorrow you never really know what's gonna happen, right? There's no real knowing for sure. I mean, you can have a guess, but ultimately you don't know. So the present moment's all we have. And I was always interested in the Tibetan Book of the Dead because it talks about that intermediary state between death and rebirth, or whatever may come next. And it was really it's just interesting. You see the duality there, the beauty, and also the things that terrify you as well, all there, all in the same space. So I find that really interesting, how it's all manifested out of the same thing there, simultaneously, but it's all coming from you.
Do you find that like these sort of esoteric topics
Oh yeah, I
fit
think
well
so
with
for sure.
psychedelic
Like
music?
I was, I don't know, like I was always really interested in kind of esoteric stuff as well. Like, yeah, I like the work of like Aldous Huxley as well, and like Colin Wilson did this really cool book on the occult. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I think it does because psychedelic music, if you go to the root of it, is so much about expanding your mind.
Yeah.
And, you know, expanding your consciousness, expanding like
Mm,
the boundaries of what you know and understand. So I think it really ties in well
mm,
with
mm.
topics like that.
I love it too because then they can hit on like sci-fi topics and go all over the place. You know, whether it's like spiritual or what it's
Hmm.
opens up a lot of
Absolutely.
doors.
Yeah, it's like really I think that was another thing on the record as well. Like I guess like I like looking at things with kind of a mystic lens, even just like framing something that's like, I don't know, something very like sci-fi or something like or that or something very like I don't know, like I'm a big environmentalist as well. Like, well, I try to be, I guess. Like, I really love the earth that we live on, and I'm super grateful for it. And I think the mysticism and esoteric kind of thinking really ties into, for me at least personally, I like ties into a lot of like how I feel about the natural world as well. So I think looking at things through that lens as well, like yeah, you
Yeah.
know, it's something I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know, like I try and cultivate it as well in my life of like, you know, having reverence, I guess, for something, you know, because I'm not like religious, but like feel like I need something, yeah, have some kind of like reverence
Mm.
for something at least, like, whoa, this planet gives me life, you know, like,
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's the difference between spiritual and religious. Being
yeah,
religious and like there's a fine line, being connected, but then also like giving yourself to
mhm.
another being or whatever. Like you're not doing that, but you still are like
Mm, mm.
encompassing
Yeah.
something greater than yourself.
yeah. Yeah, I'm the same as you, Pei. I'm not religious, but I do like
Hmm.
hold a reverence
Mm.
for nature.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
Especially you go to certain places and you're like, wow, I can see why like people thought this was holy, you know, like back in the day.
mhm. Absolutely, yeah, and that's what I think. I know that's like at least. I mean, like I'm in Taiwan now as well, and Taiwan is a really beautiful place as well, like a super beautiful place, and like I think that is definitely like the I don't know the landscapes and the nature really like has bled into the culture as a whole, you know, and like there's this and this like there's a lot of crazy nature here as well. You know, we get a lot of earthquakes. We've had a bunch of earthquakes recently as well, just like little ones sporadically. And I think it's like, I mean, yeah,
yeah,
it's like it can be pretty scary. Like there's some big ones sometimes, but it's always like I don't know. It's always that like reminder from nature of how small we are, I guess, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. As the
oh,
US has been learning in the last few months, with the South being
yeah.
frozen, California burning down.
Yeah, no, it's crazy like how just those little like those little reminders we get from nature of just how like you because we think I don't know as well like there's something I was thinking about is like with us like this we always think we can control everything as well. We try and like act as though everything can be managed and stuff, but some things it's like with
Yeah,
nature it's like that we what can you do? Yeah, it's hard.
You gotta let it
yeah,
roll.
yeah. What are you gonna
Yeah,
do against an
yeah.
earthquake or a hurricane? Like absolutely nothing. Um,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stand there and tell it no.
yeah, Brendan, do you remember a few years back? I want to say like around 2020 or 2019 or something. There was like that bad hurricane that hit like the South. It was
Yeah.
Florida and Texas, I believe. But they
Yep.
were like issuing government warnings, telling people not to shoot at the hurricane.
Yes, that was in Florida. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, we can take nature, like
right. It's like, guys, like, no, like, you cannot go out there and wish this away, you know,
you
like,
can't kill a hurricane with bullets, like.
no.
Huh.
Although it would be fun, I don't think that it would. It's not effective.
So here's a question for you, staying on the sort of like esoteric topic just for a second. Do you think that part of the problem with why we've been failing the planet so much in later generations is because we've had that disconnect from nature, from our connection to the planet? I guess the more industrialized we become, the more we forget where we came from as far as us being an animal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do think there's definitely been that disconnect a lot, but it's also like, I don't know, it's difficult as well because a lot of people like, I mean, it's just like, I'm grateful to be able to, that I can go and access nature because, you know, a lot of people like, you might not have that access to it as well. That's the tough thing. So it's like,
Yeah,
that disconnect is, it makes it harder for people to even know what the alternative is as well, you know, like, and
right.
I mean, I think a big part of it is like, you know, we're so like addicted to our phones and screens that, like, you know, you wake up in the morning and you either go pee or you grab your phone. You know what I mean? Like, it's wild. You know, like, I'm guilty of it some days. You know, like, just,
But you live in nature, though. You actually live in a forest.
right? Yeah, my
So you're lucky.
backyard is literally a protected wetland.
That's so nice.
It's amazing. You know. Yeah,
Yeah, you're super lucky.
Bears, deer, bobcat, like all kinds of coyotes right now. It's mating season.
Oh, it must be loud at that.
So like, you can hear them. It's crazy. Like, well, and what's really wild is that it'll be only like a few of them, and it will sound like there's 30. You know?
Yeah,
but like,
they're loud.
Yeah, man.
We were doing a night hike last night. We climbed a mountain last night with headlamps, and we heard it sound like 40 or 50 coyotes. It's probably like 10.
Yeah, man. And what they do is they spread out, and then like they're doing that like wild, you know, barky yippies things, you know. Yeah. And it's like, it's definitely weird, man. Definitely weird. I've heard like foxes scream and rabbits scream.
Foxes are weird. That's a strange sound.
So loud that like I thought like, dragon was being impaled with a sword, and come to find out it's just rabbits.
Yeah.
Hey, when you were in Mexico, did you do any of Central America as well? Like, did you go down
so
to, like, Costa Rica or anything?
I've been down to Guatemala. When I lived in Mexico, I used to live really close to the border with Guatemala. Like we lived in a small town called San Cristobal de las Casas.
Okay.
It's like maybe 4-hour drive from the border to Guatemala. So yeah, I've been down there and traveled to Costa Rica as well. Was there most of the time. I did some me and some friends and also my wife. We did some volunteering in a couple of places in Costa Rica, and we stayed in Bolivia as well for a few months. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like doing.
Nice. That's so cool. I was asking because I was curious if you'd ever heard of howler monkey in real life.
Oh, howler monkey, yeah, for sure. We used to hear them a lot in, there's these ruins in Mexico, maybe Palenque in, not like in the same state where we used to live. And the howler monkeys are crazy. Like they're very disconcerting. If you don't know what they are, like you see a lot of people like freak out when you first hear them. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck is this demonic sound coming here?
It's such a... Yeah. We didn't like, so we stayed in Costa Rica on the East Coast, right down by the border, with I think it's Panama right below. And the place we stayed at was like an eco lodge, so you had no walls on the building. It was just mosquito netting the whole way around, and you're in the middle of the jungle. Really cool. But the first night we had no idea the howler monkeys were around there. At about 5 a.m. in like the pitch dark, like 10 of them were like right above our place, just started screaming, and I got sat out of bed. I was like, "What is happening?" Like, it's such a like terrifying
Yeah.
sound in pitch
Yeah,
black.
Yeah,
they're
in Taiwan as well, they have these. They call them barking deer, like munchaks. They're like these small little deer, but they make this like really
Huh.
creepy sound when they're like threatened. They feel threatened. So you're walking in the woods here at night, you just hear like sounds like these deer like trying to scare you away. They have tusks. I think they got a lot of little tusks as well. They're pretty scary. They're like really small and cute, but they're kind of creepy as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
What a
looking at a
strange
picture
animal.
of them now. They're pretty neat.
But yeah, I like
I'm gonna have to look up some sound clips on YouTube.
They definitely like if you could find a skull with
Oh,
their
yeah,
antlers
for
on it,
sure.
it would look
Yeah.
pretty badass.
they're super creepy. They look like kind of like I don't know, like a glitch or something.
Their horns look like they come out of their
Oh.
faces.
Another animal that makes like a super disconcerting
Oh,
sound
really?
for what it looks like is koalas. It's a horrible sound that they make. It doesn't sound like what you'd expect at
Really?
all.
What's the sound? What's the sound?
You know, I don't know.
I'm not going to try and impersonate it, but it's like a really guttural grunting sound that like it's like it doesn't.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it shouldn't
Did you
come
guys
out
ever hear? Have you
properly.
ever heard of like what they say dinosaurs sounded like? Like this, they tried to like create the vocals. Some scientists tried to create the vocalizations, and it's just like a guttural, like,
right?
Oh yeah, I have. They're like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
like real guttural and
But you
very
like
echoey.
you don't even like hear it. You
Huh.
like feel it
I haven't
because there's
heard that.
such a
I'm gonna look that
low
up.
vibration. It's like you
Yeah,
like
it's super
you
cool.
feel you supposedly like feel it before you could actually hear it just from the vibrations of like a T-Rex or something. Yeah, it's super cool, super creepy.
Interesting.
Yeah,
But yeah,
It's just funny how wrong we got for so long. Like with dinosaurs, like it's like the whole feathered thing as well. Like, do they have feathers? Don't they have
like,
feathers?
when you look at the old dinosaurs, they're so funny, man. Like that, like when like I think they got them in England. They have these like old like dinosaur statues, and like they all just look like big iguanas, and yeah, it's so funny how like different.
Yeah. So I know.
I
on a lot of the
I was
topics
just
that
gonna
we are
say,
here
I want
about
to,
the music, so we should probably
I
ask some more
not
music
too
questions.
much
But
that.
Brendan, I know you always have some. It's totally fun. That's our show. We talk about anything and everything. But Brendan, I know you had some specific questions about Taiwan you wanted to ask, so I'll let you ask some of
Oh,
those.
yeah. Well, I'm assuming that you all have some amazing places to play your music at live, or just go see live music in general. What are the places that you
Cool. Well,
recommend and love going to see?
I mean, yeah, we're in Kaohsiung, a city in the south, and like the main venues here, there's Paramount in Chinese, Bailamen. That's a really cool venue, like small venue, have a lot of like cool alternative bands come and play. But I want to give like a real big shout out to one particular place that called Rocks here in Kaohsiung. And this place was super cool. Like to be honest, I think I wouldn't be able to do a band in Taiwan if it wasn't for this place, because it was a venue, but like my friends who run it would host they host jam nights a lot as well, so they would have a full back line and all musicians could just come and play and meet and like jam together. And that's how I met the other guys here that I play with as well from jamming there. So yeah, that spot's super cool. Shout out to Jong and Xiaoping. Yeah, those guys did a really nice job with it. Mm-hmm. And
Awesome.
Taipei as well. You've got the wall. I went to a cool show. Not last year, the year before last. They had like a psych rock festival at the wall. That's a cool venue. It's like all underground as well. Yeah, super nice. They have a lot of cool bands. Like I don't know if you know.
So it's like large enough to host.
Oh yeah, like it's pretty.
People there for a full day.
Kind of.
Like
Yeah,
parking-wise and all that stuff,
parking's kind of lame in Taiwan because this like especially Taipei is super like condensed and everything is kind of like built on top of each other and stuff as well, and the roads are a bit smaller, So everyone's on their either scooter or like public transport here. But yeah, it's a good venue. Like there's is yeah, it's nice for like a lot of like alternative
Gotcha.
stuff. They have
Okay.
like cool like metal bands play there and stuff as well, like bigger events.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Do you get to
Yeah, we've
play
got
live?
we have a show next. We actually got a show next Saturday, and here in Kaohsiung we're playing our Nikanash in full record next Saturday. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Nice. What's your favorite song to play off of that?
I really like. I really enjoy playing Mushroom Fire Marshmallow is always fun to play just because it's like a bit faster as well, and we can kind of like wiggle at the end as well with the outro. That's always fun, and I Painted Paradise as well. I really like because it's like for me lyrically, it's one of my favorite songs as well. Like to sing and stuff as well. I really enjoy it, and yeah, I like the drum parts a lot. Like Matt, my friend who put the drums on that and did Holotropics with me is like, yeah, super cool. Like, thank you so much for making those songs sound great as well.
Hell yeah. They're all great tunes. Like I was saying before too, it was like before we were recording that the Food for the Soul has got like this little whistle thing going on here, and like I'll constantly like catch myself like randomly just like walking around like through the warehouse at work, and I'm just like whistling away. You know, it's just funny, and I'm like,
yeah,
dang, man,
it's contagious.
You know,
Makes it rather cool.
So yeah,
nice.
No,
Yeah,
it's really good.
I think you guys were smart in keeping the song lengths on the shorter side as well, because it makes the album very digestible and it gives it a lot more like a re-listenability. Because I love psych, but sometimes psych albums can be like a little long for the casual listening.
Yeah, I really enjoy that, but I hear you.
I do too, but it's like there's always a time and a place for something that you can just put on and listen to the whole thing in one sitting and be like, that was a perfect little stint of like great music.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like, you know, a 20-minute song, like you can't replay like 50 times. No, I like to be honest, yeah, it was yeah. I kind of like making stuff short as well. Like I used to play in like punk bands a lot when I was younger as well, like punk and hardcore bands. So we would always like songs. We used to always make the songs really short, and like I kind of enjoyed that about it, because then it's like you've got like I think if it's succinct as well, that's super nice. If you can say it short and like it's kind of cool sometimes if you can leave yourself wanting a little bit more of it as well. I guess I always liked that about like bands I would watch as well.
Yeah, and then you have those epic psych albums where it's like a 3-hour jam session, and there's a time and place for that too. But it's like not on the bus.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like it's a whole different vibe. But it's like I think that's like those records as well. Though it's cool because it's like I don't know. I do very much like the idea of like still listening to an album as well. Like I enjoy that. Like to listen to an album as a whole rather than just. I mean, it's hard now because of just how music is with the streaming platforms and stuff. Like everything's so like everything's playlisted and
Oh yeah, it's a singles game, 100%. Yeah, singles and playlists, and people. What I think is psychotic is when I meet someone who shuffles songs on an album. Like, dude, what? Like, the band put a lot of effort into like the track list and like the order of these songs. It's like, what are you doing?
Oh my god, yeah, man. Jeez Louise, shuffle. Get me stuck on shuffle. I just had a problem. Like I don't know. There was like my phone needed to be updated, and I think Tidal needed to be updated.
Dude, mine did this too. Did yours keep putting you on shuffle?
Shuffle like constantly.
Me too.
And I couldn't stop it. And so
Me either.
I got to the point where I went to him on X, and then I was like, "Hey, like I actually like talked to somebody and made like a ticket and was like, what is going on?" And then after doing a few things and blah 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 blah, it's fixed now. But
Yeah.
like, holy cow, dude, that was so annoying.
I was
And
annoying.
like, and that's what I said though. I was like, you guys, like, an artist puts a lot of time into putting in like all this stuff, and like I go like I'm trying to listen to a full album. Like, even if I make a playlist, I'm probably put it into a certain order, and you know what I mean. And it's like, I don't know. If I want to shuffle it, I'll hit that button, but I don't ever want to hit that button.
I only use it for playlists. That's the only thing.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
everything else,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's
for
always
sure.
like start to finish.
Yeah.
Brendan, did you have any food questions? Because I'm kind of excited to hear the answers for this one.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, where is your favorite like food in your area? You know, like,
Your local spot.
yeah, like the spot that you would like. Hey, this is where I'm gonna like, bring your friends. You know, James and I come by to
Oh wow,
make
that's
trip.
a real
Like, where
tough
we gonna
one.
go?
It depends. Like, well, I would say one spot
I think
that's
we pretty
super
much
good.
did
Like,
anything once.
I think one of the things I love here, like in Taiwan, is like the a lot of like these vegetarian buffets. They're like there's a lot of these really nice like veggie buffets. A lot of it's also like food for monks as well, for Buddhist monks. So they'll make it all vegetarian, but you get you just pick a lot of different things and pay by the weight, and it's always super good and like really healthy and nice. But yeah, if we drink and then you've got well, Taiwan is famous for stinky tofu. And if you heard of this dish before, it's it's a tofu dish, but it's
Yeah.
like fermented in a bunch of stuff, and it stinks, man. It's like yeah, it's like famous, and this yeah, it's the smell is
Smells
like,
like
I don't know,
puke.
man. It's like kind of like wet socks, you know, like really like kind of like you microwave in some like wet socks. So, but it tastes pretty good. Yeah, it doesn't taste as bad as it
But does it
smells.
taste
Like
good?
it's one of those things. Like the first time I tried it, I was like, oh no, like I don't know if I can do this. But after a couple of tries, like yeah, it's pretty good, and people love it in Taiwan as well.
Oh
So,
man, I'm nice. I know. For me, I'm super sensitive to smells. So like, if I'll like, oh god, there's like be times where like I'll smell something and it's just like, whoa, no. If I smell that again,
yeah.
I'm gonna barf everywhere.
Brendan, have you ever smelled durian?
The fruit,
Yeah.
yeah, I have. When Anthony Bourdain did his like show, I can't remember which one it was, but he was eating that there. Then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go do it too. So me and my friends got one, and there was an Asian market that sells it. They keep it in the freezer.
Oh, okay. It's not the same as fresh. When they crack those things open fresh, it's
Well,
like
it
you can
was a
smell
big
it down
one,
the
but it was,
street.
or maybe it was, I don't know, it was a cooler or a freezer. Either way, it was fresh. Like, it was big and like, size of like a watermelon.
Yeah, they're big.
Yeah, but we were like, god awful. It smelled like,
Yeah, you
It's
can't
such a
get on
strange smell,
trains
such a
either. Like
distinctive
some
smell.
places like forbid
yeah,
you from bringing it because the smell is so strong. It's good
Yeah.
though. Like some people hate, some people hate it, but the flavors I like
And
it. I like doing, and I also just love the reactions it gets as well.
it's interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
I've heard
Yes.
people describe this flavor as sweet gasoline. Um, it's an unusual taste, unusual smell. But there's hotels in Malaysia and Singapore when I was there that have signs saying no durian in the hotel, like on the door as you come in.
Forbidden fruit.
Yeah, stinky fruit. What about like traditional like Taiwanese like noodle dishes? Is there anything that's like kind
My
of like
favorite
famous
is
or stands out?
Majiangmian. Majiangmian is like sesame noodles. It's super simple dish. Because I'm veggie as well. Like I don't eat meat, so I stick some all the vegetable plant based stuff here, and
Uh-huh.
some sesame noodles. Man, I could like I can always, they're my ride or die, always can live with sesame noodles. Anything sesame, man.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Cold? Were they cold or hot?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Sesame goes hard.
But yeah,
Sesame goes
but
really
yeah,
hard.
it's cool.
Good flavor.
Me and my band, me and my band, we usually we snack a lot on well, now as well as for New Year, there's just so much snacking all the time as well, like pineapple cakes, loads of fruit as well, mandarins all the time, like mandarins super good right now. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, those pineapple cakes are really good.
Yeah, they're
I really
good.
like those pineapple
They're
cakes.
so ubiquitous, man. Like everywhere you go, like this time of year, there's every store is giving you free samples of pineapple cakes and all these little goodies. It's fun. It's like, yeah.
I
think I had
pineapple. I think
them.
it's super good. I used to roast it and then make like a gastrique sauce with that, and so good.
Oh, really?
used to be a chef,
Cool.
by the way,
What
for
did you
context.
used to cook? Like, you used to cook anything in particular, or like what were cuisines and stuff? Like,
Mainly, it was lots of I'd say God, American food. Burgers, steaks, sandwiches. Then
Elevated gastro.
those stuff where we're making all kinds of cool purees and making all kinds of wild sauces and everything's from scratch and all that, so it's always been good quality fancy fun stuff. But yeah, it was good. It was a good run. And I had I worked at a barbecue pizza restaurant where I was the chef, and that was pretty fun.
nice. I remember,
pretty fun.
yeah. Did you ever have I think there was a place in there was a place in Mexico City. It was like a pizza place, but they had a venue in there as well. They have a venue in there as well. It's called Arabiosa as well. Yeah, it's cool. So they have a lot of punk bands play there as well.
That's fun. Yeah, the spot that I used to work at, it's now, I think it's converted into a cannabis store, which is funny. But but it was I haven't been there in a while, so I got to see what it actually is now. I know it's not a restaurant, but it was next to a bar that has a stage and a venue and whatnot. And then there would be people that would grab pizza, bring it over to the venue and stuff like that, and we'd get a rush before a band would play. Cause we would close up and then people would be hungry. It was great. We would always be busy with stuff like that.
I love those interesting little venues as well. Like those kind of bars and restaurants and stuff. Any kind of outside a normal venue is always fun. Like to play in weird places, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just at a show on Wednesday night at a place in San Diego called Till 2 Club, and I would put them in that category. It's literally a standard dive bar. Looks exactly like a normal dive bar, but then in the back corner they just squished the smallest stage I've ever seen into the back corner, and it's almost eye level height with the band as well. And it's just it's a vibe. I like it because it feels like the band's playing directly to you. You're right in front of them. They're all cramped on the stage together with their equipment, and then they're playing eye level height, making eye contact with you. So it's a fun vibe as an audience, and then as a band, it seems to be it's a challenge to get set up in such a small space, but everyone seems to have fun playing there.
I mean it's hard doing a venue, right? Being an independent venue is so hard. So it's cool when an establishment wants to step up and have shows and stuff. I think it's it's cool. Because I don't know, it's tough for independent venues. I mean I know here as well, also in the UK as well, back in England, it's tough. Where I'm from, Brighton had a lot of really big a lot of really cool independent venues there, and then it can be hard to sustain them as well,
COVID killed so many.
Yeah, that was really tough.
Brendan, did you have any other the local questions? Or
I have I guess not a local one, but who inspired you to pick up a guitar and play and sing
Ooh, that's
for the very first time?
that's a good question. Well, the first live band I ever went to see was Green Day when I was like 11. That was like so
Okay.
that was like at the Milton Keynes Bowl in the UK, and it was when they were doing the what's it the tour for like American Idiot, all that record. Yeah, like, and
yeah.
that was super cool. Yeah, I really like. I remember like that CD as well. I think no, what's it? Dookie was like someone got it for me as a gift when I was like maybe 12 as well. And I remember listening to that record and thinking, oh yeah, I want to play guitar. That'd be so fun. And so I started playing when I was a teenager. But like a lot of my family was super into music as well. Like my sister was like really into music. Like when I was a kid, she used to work at the Underworld in London, if you know that venue. It's a cool, yeah.
No, I'm not familiar.
Yeah,
with
it's like
I
in
think I
Camden,
might
you know,
have
it's
heard of
like
it.
kind of the more like the I guess like the classic alternative part of London. I don't know, like North London, but that's a cool venue. And like, yeah, she used to
Gotcha.
always like let me know about bands that were playing and stuff and shows. And she used to get these like little CD samplers from of like a bunch of metal bands as well, like of bands like them, like Pig Destroyer and stuff like that, and like Dying Fetus and Amon
Nice.
Amarth and like all these like crazy heavy bands. So I listened to a lot of like super heavy stuff when I was a teenager. But yeah, I think I don't know, yeah, just like getting to play with my friends was like also something that made me want to do it more as well, because like I had a lot of friends who were musicians like when at school and stuff, so that made me want to like play more as well, just to hang out with
Yeah.
my friends. Oh, can you hear me now?
Did I lose you?
I think it's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's
Nice.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I guess that's I'm good for now, James. We can wrap it up if we need to.
I just got a couple more questions, and then because we're coming up to time soon anyway. So, Pei, here's a little bit tough one. It's gonna put you on the spot slightly. I'm sorry, but if you were stranded on a desert island and you had a solar-powered CD player and only 3 CDs to listen to on repeat until you got rescued,
Yeah, a tough
what
one.
would you want to have?
Okay. One of them would probably be maybe Gish by Smashing Pumpkins, the first Smashing Pumpkins record. Yeah, yeah. That like
Nice.
gave me good memories from like when I was a teenager
Great
as
album.
well. Like yeah,
We
yeah.
love
That's
90s.
great. But what's it like with like with like
No, Polly.
Siva and stuff like that, and Rhinoceros. I love that song, Rhinoceros. It's like one of my favorite Pumpkin songs. I'd probably
Yeah.
say as well, maybe My White Pony by Deftones. Nice. Yeah, that was another like, big album I remember listening to when I was a kid that really made me like change how I thought about like music as well. Because I would like
Love it. I just bought a cool like rendition copy of it.
I think that was cool as well because I was like super into metal at that time, and then when I listened to that record, it kind of like made me more curious about things like I know like shoegaze as well, and like kind of more like dream poppy stuff as well. Like it's a good like kind of bridge into that world, you know. Oh, and one more. Oh,
Right.
I think maybe Butthole Surfers, Electric Larryland. Yeah. Yeah, I like Butthole Surfers and
Good
like
choice.
yeah, I think Pepper is like one of my favorite songs of the 90s for sure. Mhm.
I was
That's
gonna
a
say Pepper
great
is so
track.
good. Yeah.
Great
it's-
track.
Yeah.
Mhm. And then, I don't know if it was on that album, but they did that song. It was on I think it was the Spawn soundtrack. It was the Tiny Rubber Band.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's good. That's
Super
like,
catchy.
and that was cool as well because it's interesting. Like they'd already been like a band for a while when that album came out, and like it's kind of cool to see how they like went with it. Like they still kept their weirdness on it as well, but managed to make it super like catchy and fun as well.
Yeah.
Wish I could have caught them live in the 90s to
Oh
hear their
yeah,
stories
Jesus,
about their
sounded
performances.
like insane. Wasn't it? One of them was in like? Was one of them in like MK Ultra or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
No.
There
I
was
don't
he
know if
just
I'm got into conspiracy theories or something, but I swear one of the, or no, it was part of one of them from Butthole Surfers was friends with Timothy Leary, I think. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. No, that's interesting. Doesn't surprise me. They were nuts back then. Like doing full sets, fully nude, firing like discharging live rounds, like in a show from like a shotgun. Um, like the blood pack thing where the lead singer
Oh,
pretended to be
jeez.
shot on stage and made everyone think he died. Um,
Du-
it's just
Yeah,
crazy.
dude, it's crazy to think when you
Stunt
think
rock.
back about what those like how those bands were in those shows. Jesus, like it's crazy. They got away with all that stuff.
People
Yeah,
hanging from
everyone's too
rafters.
scared now to do stuff like that. Like back then, you could get away with anything. Basically, the '90s was wild. But now, like if you try to do that
Mm.
stuff, you just end up getting sued or like charged with something or like cancelled. Like you can't be that raw
Well,
and that
even now, I think the other thing
upfront
now as
anymore,
well
right?
is it's like it's so there's just so much content. Like it kind of gets like there's just so much outrageous content that we just are fed every day. So like it kind of like I don't know, the shock kind of gets dampened as well, even right?
That's
Like
true. Desensitized. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you see worse things
yeah,
probably on your Facebook feed than you would see at like a live show like that.
yeah, that is interesting. Hmm.
So last question, last real question. What? Oh, actually, I have two. Sorry. Well, first one is
Oh,
any local
absolutely,
bands
yeah.
around
There's
you that
so
we
many
should check
cool
out?
Taiwanese bands. One of them definitely to check out is the band called Mongtong. I don't know if you know them from Taipei. Mongtong, they're like a two piece electronic
I
band.
don't think so.
Like
Let's see.
very, very cool experimental vibes. Dope Purple as well. Dope Purple are another great Taiwanese band, like super hot, like dark, heavy psych rock. Um, we're playing a show with a really cool band next week as well called Rip Current from Tainan, city in the south. They're super cool. And
Okay.
other ones, and another band called Head Composer. Head Composer are super cool. We played with them in Taipei last year. They're great, like kind of instrumental, like stoner psych rock kind of in parts. Yeah, kind of sound like
Nice.
yeah, they're
I got
really
both of these
really
pulled up.
cool. Mm.
Mongtong have really cool album art.
Oh, dude,
They
yeah,
have a
they
lot
did.
of
I think it
Mongtong's
was
album art. Wow.
was it maybe an audio tree session they did recently or something? It was or maybe it was a KXP. But yeah, they're really cool, like really nice to see live. I seen them a few times live as well, and yeah, always really good. It's amazing what they can do with just two of them as well.
Wow. And Head Composer looks like I love the album art here too. I like how both bands are like so heavily influenced by
I
like
think
Taiwanese
that's it. Yeah,
culture.
I mean
Really
Taiwan
cool.
is like such a it's quite a melting pot as well because like of the history. So you've got a lot of like influences from Japan as well, and like I know like the kind of Japanese style post rock is
Uh-huh.
pretty popular as well in Taiwan right now, and yeah, it's
Okay.
really cool. But like I find like the experimental music scene in Taiwan is super cool. Like people are doing some really interesting projects here as well, and
Nice.
and it's nice. Like I don't know, people are like I feel like crowds are pretty receptive to it as well in Taiwan as well. Like you can like the shows. I mean, the shows we've been doing and the shows that I've been to have like they've had like nice turnouts and stuff as well, and like people are keen to like start bands and do interesting projects as well. So yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
that's my
Rick,
favorite thing
collaboration
about
is
like
nice.
that's one of my favorite things about doing it anyway, doing this band is like just getting to collaborate with people and like meet some nice people, like get to have a good time as well, you know, like it's it's I think that's what that should always be the most important thing, right? Like
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the last question I have is, what have you been listening to lately? Anything that stood out?
So I really
you?
like there's this record I was listening to from if you know a band called Loma, the last record from them, Loma, Loma. The album's called How
Oh, that sounds
I don't
familiar.
I
think
think
so.
yeah,
Let me
How I Live
see.
Without a Body. That record is really nice, really well produced album. Yes, yeah,
From Texas?
yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
nice. Oh, they're on Sub Pop Records. That means it's generally.
Yeah,
I love
it's
Sub
super
Pop. So much
nice.
good music on that
I
label.
really like Blackwater Holyoke.
Okay, I'll check
So
this out.
they put a single out fairly recently as well. Yeah, super cool band.
Yeah,
Really
nice.
like them.
They're cool.
And
I like them.
I like Sven Wonder as well. That's an album. That's a band I always go back to. There was kind of that older record, Eastern Flowers from 2020. That album I really like. Some really nice, like tasteful little licks in there. I'm a sucker for like good like guitar licks as well, you know.
Yeah, I get it.
Great.
Great. So then the final question is for anyone who would like to support the band, listen to your music, buy your music.
Well, we're on,
what's the best place to do
all
that?
the streaming platforms. Like we're on Apple Music, Spotify. If you want to support us, you can hit us up on Bandcamp. It's Cult of Holotropics at bandcamp.bandcamp.com. But that's we've got because we've got all our
Great.
older stuff on there as well, and the last record we did from last year, all up on there.
Great. And then for anyone who wants to follow, like for updates, follow the band.
I'd say
what's
on
the best social
Instagram.
account
Yeah,
to do
Instagram is
that from?
probably the most active. Yeah, definitely the most active one. So yeah, you can find us on there. It's the same like Cult of Holotropics. And yeah, we've got a couple of shows coming up in Taiwan. We've got some shows in Japan in April as well. So yeah, if anyone wants to come by, everyone's welcome.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. And honestly, like for the time zone difference, appreciate you staying up and
my pleasure.
chatting with us. It's
My
been great.
pleasure. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for having me
absolutely.
on
Thank
there.
you.
It's really nice and thanks for all the cool stuff that your channel's been doing. Like you guys have been posting some like super nice bands. Really, it's really cool. So thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you for letting me host the full album on the Heritage.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
appreciate it on that.
We really appreciate it. I'm like, honestly, like, I'm still always like so stoked that people just want to listen to it. I have so much fun doing it, and me and the rest of the band, we love it. So, like, the fact that, people can have a good time with it, that makes me, really happy. I'm really grateful for that.
Well, that's awesome. And if you guys ever do like another album,
thank you so much. Yeah, I would love
always
to.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, James and Brendan. It's been really good to speak with you guys. And have a
Great.
good day for you. I'll be going to bed soon.
Yeah. Cheers.
You too. You too. And then for anyone listening at home, thank you so much for tuning in. And come back next week. We'll have another guest.